Good morning, audience. How you doing? I am just making my breakfast this morning and looking at the comments that were left on my first video yesterday about Trump losing. And I saw a comment that I wanted to respond to right away. And this is why I wanted to start this channel, so that I can just share my thoughts with you on stuff that's not necessarily RV related. And when thinking about what I wanted this channel to be like, I was looking at some of the channels that I like, and I'm looking at like Brian Tyler Cohen, who I will never be, that polished and that well spoken. He's an actor. And somebody you guys have all turned me on to, Bo from the Fifth Column. I finally checked him out a couple days ago and I'm hooked. I really like him. And it was also really good for me to see how someone else is doing this and think about how I wanted to do my channel. And just now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do my channel my way. I'm not trying to be anybody else. And I live in an RV. And right now I'm making breakfast. I'm making steel cut oats and I've got pumpkin seeds in the oven, which I probably need to take out. But what I wanted to do, hang on a second, I'll be right back. So anyway, I'm not going to change. I am who I am right now. I did my hair yesterday for the first video because I might be attracting a new audience, and first impressions are everything, right? But you know what? This what you guys like about me is my authenticity, and hopefully I will draw more people who like my authenticity, dirty nails and all, because of how I live. But I wanted to respond to a comment that I was just responding to. It's Clamber3AD, and I want to talk about what he said. Really struck me. His first sentence is, "Hi, I'm a bit less to the left because I'm a big Second Amendment guy." But he does not support Trump because Trump isn't reasonable, is what he says. So I want to talk about that. One of the biggest misconceptions I get all the time is that liberals want to take away guns. And my response to him was, many on the left are big Second Amendment people. I know, I've heard from my audience, there are a lot of liberals, a lot of people who support Democrats and have always voted Democrat, who are big Second Amendment people. What I find troubling and sad about those statements, and I'm not picking on Clamber at all, this is a bigger issue, this isn't one person. What I find really sad about that is that we have forgotten what unites us, that we are looking at the differences, that we've lost trust in one another, that the media has been telling us for so long that the Democrats want to take your guns away, the radical liberals want to take away all your rights. And then on the other side, especially since Trump, the left has been hearing that authoritarian fascism and we're going to lose everything. And there are very emotion invoking rhetoric going on that that both sides are buying into. Guilty, 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 So I want this video to be about what unites us, not what divides us, and about how do we go back to just being Americans, to not being enemies. I am not anybody's enemy. I care about the Constitution. I care about America. Just because I happen to believe that things like health care are fundamental rights, that basic housing is a fundamental human right, that nobody should go hungry, and that's a fundamental right. And yeah, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for the greater good of society. I've said before, I think that's the foundation of my liberal beliefs. But those things don't make me your enemy. I would love to see us start focusing more on what we have in common than what we don't. This idea that because I'm a Democrat, I'm anti-Second Amendment, that just because I'm a Democrat, I believe in socialism, that I'm going to take all your rights away, or that just because you're a Republican, you're a racist and a bigot. Those things aren't true. I was laying in bed last night thinking about a beautiful couple that I know. They were a client of mine. I liked them. They were just down to earth and good people. I later found out they voted for Trump. And I was thinking about some of the things that I have said lately, and I was thinking about how they might receive that. And I started feeling really bad. These are really good, honest, hardworking people. And we've lost sight of that. We've lost sight of the humanity in each other. We've lost sight of the fact that we all just want to be safe. We all want our, those who have children, we all want our, or my child, we all want our children to be safe and our grandchildren to be safe. We want clean air. We want clean water. We want to be able to have a good job and pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And we want to just be able to live and be free and be happy. Can you agree with that? That's all we want? The problem is the media the media, by the way, who are owned by or at least controlled by big money, and many of our politicians over the years, left and right, who has been owned by big money, they are the ones who have pit us against one another. They are, if you want an enemy, they are the enemy. And instead we're fighting amongst ourselves. How did that happen? How did we become enemies of one another? I don't understand. I will never understand, although psychologically I kind of understand voting for Trump, but that doesn't make you my enemy. What I would like is for us all to start looking at what we have in common instead of what is different. That's how we start negotiating. That's how we start rebuilding. That's how we start building a better society. Not what divides us. Not that you're bringing all your immoral ways into my community. That's not a starting point. How about you have a lovely family, and I understand that you want to raise your family someplace safe. So how can we work together? I want to keep my family safe too. What are the things that are really putting our families at risk? Is it you and your wife walking down the street holding hands, or is it dirty water, dirty air? Is it jobs going overseas because big business doesn't want to pay a fair wage? It's so easy to start blaming each other. It's so easy to turn on each other. And I think social media has given us the perfect storm of a platform to allow us to do that. But what if, instead of saying, I'm not very liberal because I'm pro Second Amendment, and again, I'm not picking on you, how about if we say, I am liberal, I am one of those a little further to the left who believe in the Second Amendment? Or like many of I know a lot of people who believe in the Second Amendment, or something like that. But I've said before, I've talked about labels. I wish we could get rid of labels. I'm not very fond of labels. Someday maybe we will be a label-less society, but we're not there yet. We do identify by our party very heavily and emotionally right now. Maybe someday that'll go away and we won't need those labels. We can just say, yeah, you know what? I'm a person who doesn't believe that we should be at a 90% tax rate. True story, this is me. But I do believe that every person in our society should be taken care of. I also believe that every person in our society should work for that. I don't think anybody deserves a free lunch or a free ride. I do believe that you have a right to own a gun, and I will fight tooth and nail next to you to make sure that right is never taken away. I also believe that we should be educated. Yeah, you know what? I think we should have free college. I think that everybody should be able to get a good education. And it doesn't have to be college. Maybe it's a certificate program. Maybe it's something to get a better job. I believe everybody should be able to do that for free, because why should just the rich people be able to go to college? Why should just the rich people be able to afford to learn another skill? Those are the things we have in common. Those are the things that are the very foundation of who I am. And instead, we apply labels. Radical left, wants to take my guns away, doesn't believe in free speech, blah, blah, blah. So I guess my message is, let's all try to make an effort to look at what we have in common instead of what our differences are. Let's start looking at our fellow American, no matter who they voted for and who they will vote for, not as our enemy, but as our sister, as our brother, as our aunt. We're not going to heal if we keep fighting amongst ourselves. We have to find common ground. And we can't just like a marriage, you can't have one side doing all the work. You can't have one side reaching out the olive branch saying, I'm trying to understand you, and the other side saying, you're a stupid libtard who's brainwashed and you're a sheep. That's not going to work. It takes two. All right? So, my second As I See It video, I'm excited. Do you like this format? I will also be doing the ones that take a lot of research, but, and facts and stuff too. So tell me what you like. Tell me what you think. Happy Sunday. I'm working on my Carolyn's RV Life Sunday night video too. It's a busy morning already. Happy Sunday. I'm going to get to my steel cut oats. Yum. Oh, and coffee. Bye.